AJ Lee made her return. She cost Becky Lynch the women's Intercontinental title. Becky was going to unhook the turnbuckle. AJ's music hit. Becky got distracted. When she turned around, she got hit with a crossbody by Maxxine Dupri. 1, 2, 3. Maxxine is the new women's Intercontinental champion. I know SP3's already mentioned how much he hated this decision. But what did you think of the match, SP3?
You remember when we talked about that?
I don't remember shit, crybaby.
Remember the first Maxine and Becky matchup in the series when Becky lost by countout? And how I said that started off awful and then turned into something great. And that was probably Maxine's best matchup. And then Maxine looked pretty good in the second matchup. It wasn't as heated. The crowd wasn't as invested in it, even though it was in Maxine's hometown of Sacramento. But it was cool. It was cool. It was cool. Last night's matchup, it was fine. Maxxine Dupri is still green. So she botches a lot in her matches. Doesn't look very smooth or clean. Looks very clunky. Becky Lynch has to pull out a virtuoso type performance for it to be anything passable. And she did that last night. And then the finish just fucking sucked. It felt like a finish straight out of the 2010s. Like, it made Becky Lynch look like an idiot. It made AJ Lee the heel to me because Becky has done absolutely nothing to AJ since she lost to her at WrestlePalooza. You could say, oh, she said something bad about AJ. She's done absolutely nothing to AJ Lee since she lost to her at WrestlePalooza. There was nothing that Becky Lynch has said since WrestlePalooza that should have dictated, oh, AJ Lee, oh, this is AJ Lee coming with comeuppance or making Becky Lynch's life a living hell for everything that she said in reverse by AJ Lee coming out here, returning and distracting her. So AJ Lee looks like a heel. She looks worse coming out of this. And then Maxxine Dupri, none of us knew what her finishing move was. And then she finished the move with a high crossbody. I felt like I was watching something out of the 1990s when the high crossbody picked up the victory. It made Becky Lynch look inept that she wasn't able to kick out of this. that just a flying body on top of her, a skinny body at that, flying on top of her was enough to beat her. Did not make her look good. The program did well enough to get Maxxine over, and it gave Maxxine some of the best matches of her career, but the Women's Intercontinental Championship is now dead. It's dead. It will be on the same level as the WWE Women's United States Championship by December because this company only cared about the title when Becky Lynch had it. So putting it on someone that they really don't care about, that only Becky Lynch cares about, and thus why she's done this program that's gotten her over a bit, she is not going to be over against anyone else. So this title is going to die a death. Congratulations, WWE. You rewarded someone from going from absolutely dirt awful to being absolutely green as fuck. Great. You're green as fuck now, and now you can have a title.
Wow. I liked the finish being a high crossbody. I thought it was something different. At least it wasn't a roll up out there. I can understand Becky being caught off guard with turnaround. She's distracted. The whole story is Maxxine, like Becky is not in her right mind. Right? That's why she got counted out, she got DQ'd and everything. She's off her game. Then AJ comes out to throw her off her game even more. She gets hit with a crossbody, gets pinned. Okay. I can live with that. Again, it's better than a roll up. That's the bar is low and they jumped over the bar there. AJ's just a hater. As a hater of things, SP3, you got to appreciate that AJ Lee just returns like, I'm still fucking with this girl for everything she said prior to WrestlePalooza, for everything she did to my husband prior to WrestlePalooza. Yeah, we want a wrestling match.
She got a revenge. It seems very spiteful.
Okay, again, she's a hater.
Spiteful.
There's a lot of haters in wrestling. She
So
still has this title. She's like,
this is rude. I would never. You would never see anyone in my top 10 greatest women's wrestlers of all time acting this way. That's why AJ did not make my list.
she's a hater. I can respect that she is a hater. Now, I do agree with you on this title is dead. I have no faith that they are going to attempt to elevate this thing or continue to keep it elevated with Maxxine Dupri as the champion. This just felt like, all right, we're going to reward you for working hard. Becky got you over, and here you go. Here's the title. But Raw has too much star power for Maxxine Dupri to be involved in a meaningful feud. Her stuff is not going to be more important than Rhea, Io, Becky, AJ, even Bailey, Lyra, Kabuki Warriors. I guess Charlotte and Alexa will be back on SmackDown by the time. The brand split's a myth anyway. But I still just named like 6 women who you got out there. Vecker, Nikki, there's 8. There are not enough. Maxxine Dupri is not going to be important enough to be part of any of this. I think she keeps the title for maybe a month, and then it moves to like Roxanne or somebody.
So just moved it for no reason then. If it's just for a month or two, I don't see her getting anything out of it.
Well, what she got out of it was beating Becky Lynch. That's what it is. And then what's the follow-up going to be? Yeah, it's probably going to be she holds it for a month, gets one title defense, loses it to Roxanne or Raquel, and then we don't see much of Maxxine for a little while.
And then right back down the so literally this win meant nothing.
It doesn't have to be this way, mind you.
But that's the most likely way this is gonna go because they rewarded someone who's still green as fuck.
They could.
She doesn't get reps. Like it's not like giving her the title is getting her more reps. That's the issue. She doesn't have enough reps that she's not gonna get any better.
Maxxine should go on just a legacy run out here. So she beat Becky. She needs to after Nikki loses to Vecker, she needs to beat Nikki. Sorry, Nikki, you're just losing a bunch of matches. I like Nikki Bella, but
she needs to say, we're gonna adopt the women's Intercontinental Championship. It's now gonna have speed rules. We're only doing 5-minute time limit matches.
No, 3.
No, 3 is non-title matches.
Yeah, I know, but like really make it more.
That's a really good question, WG Wheeler. Why are green wrestlers not in NXT? I've been asking this question about Maxxine Dupri for the better part of 2 years. And interesting factoid that I got about this matchup. Do you know that last night was Maxxine Dupri's second ever pinfall victory in singles competition in WWE? Second in 3 years. Second in 3 years. Do you know when was the last time she got a singles pinfall victory on WWE programming?
You can't talk about wins and losses, SP3. The Diva stands, the Maxxine Dupri stands are going to come after you. Like, who cares that she's never won a match on television? Or I guess she's won one match on television. All right, let me try to think of when she
the answer.
Win.
I have the answer.
Hold on. Let me maybe come on a guess. But again, wins and losses don't matter. SP3. We learned this. Nikki Bella just gets a title shot because she attacked.
Oh, it's obvious. It's obvious that it don't matter. Maxxine Dupri is the Intercontinental Champion. It's obvious.
It doesn't matter. Did she beat Candice during that whole thing?
No, she did not.
Oh, all right. I would have thought that would be the answer if she beat Candice. She had to win when she first came up against somebody, right?
No, she did not. No, she did not. Her last victory was in July of 2023, and the only other person besides Becky Lynch, Rebecca Quinn, the greatest of all time, that she has beaten by pinfall in singles competition in WWE out of the 3 years that she's been with the company, no longer works with the company. It was Valhalla is the only person that Maxxine Dupri has pinned in a singles match on WWE program.
Okay, but that was, again, when she first came up, right?
No, she first came up in 2022.
Okay, but like actually got in the ring, not like just doing manager stuff. Like she didn't get in the ring until
2023.
Yeah,
probably 2023. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm literally looking at her cage match right now. She her first match was a mixed tag with Alpha Academy against Viking Raiders, and then her next match, literally her first match ever. Literally her first match was the mixed tag match, and then her second match was the match against Valhalla. So yeah, her first ever. Well, she's won her first singles match and her last singles match. Who cares what happened in between? She's got a great bookend there. You're only as good as your first match, and you're only as bad as your first match, and you're only as good as your last match. And she's got victories in both.
Okay.
I would have thought it was Candice. Man, she didn't even beat Candice after Candice is like, your brother's dead and thinks you suck. Dude, she didn't even win there? Fuck.
No.
I know she pitched that, so I'm not saying anything.
Yes.
Like, she pitched that. She was fine with that. That was literally the story, though. That ruled. Shooter Candice, when she stopped there mid-worm, it was like, the fuck are you doing? Quit doing this dumb shit. Your brother's dead and is disappointed in you.
I was like, thank God someone said something, because the worm is the worst thing that she's done. Luckily, Becky told her after like the first matchup, he was like, don't do that shit against me. She hasn't done it in either of the last 2 matches. Thank you, Becky Lynch, doing miracles once again.
Man, I really would have thought she would have beat Candice. Shit.
She's only beaten 2 people in her entire career.
Again, you're only as good as your first and your last match.
There's plenty more over on Fightful Overbooked. Click that subscribe button, tap that bell, get your notifications. And while you're at it, like the videos. Interact with them. Say some stuff. We want to hear from you. While you're at it, join us every Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, live for In the Weeds. You might like it.